Okay, hi.
Hi.
This is Jeffrey Nathenson
Yes.
from Google. But what exactly do you do at Google?
My job is to develop our strategic partnerships with some of the major content providers, news organizations, television networks, sports rights holders. My job is to help build up relationships with the traditional media and get them to use YouTube as a new and exciting platform for them to get their compelling content out there to people like you that are using YouTube all the time.
And what kind of things have you seen or done here at Davos 2009? Which are especially interesting?
Well, for me, I heard a discussion today about the fate of the newspapers, which I thought was really interesting because.
What did they say? Yeah?
Well, they basically said that things are rough, and we don't know what's next, and we don't know how we're going to make money, and we're scared.
In what sense? In sort of like simply the format, the fact that everybody's for the news on the internet, or?
Let me ask you a question. How old are you?
24.
When was the last time you bought a newspaper?
I think I remember. I bought like 3 newspapers in my whole life. Yeah,
okay.
Even before internet, but yeah.
You never. So you don't buy.
If I need news or information, I go to the.
You're 24 years old. You're obviously keyed into what's happening in the world. You know what's going on. You want to be aware about international events.
And I don't buy newspapers.
And you don't buy newspaper.
That's right.
So that means that everyone who's buying newspapers are either my age, or older, or dead.
Yeah. What happens when they die? Is basically.
So basically, the whole thing is that they're facing is how do they get guys like you to get to buy newspapers? And the other thing is they sit there and say, well, they're running websites, but their websites don't make them as much money as their newspapers used to make them.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem for them because they don't know how their industry is going to survive in the next couple of years. We've seen a number of bankruptcies already, and very important publications like the New York Times getting in serious financial trouble. So it was really interesting to sit there because they had a panel of all these newspaper guys, and in the front row was a couple of the more well-known bloggers in the world. And it was kind of cute. I found it amusing.
Jeff Jarvis, Michael Arrington, Rubble Shovel.
Scoble was there.
Did they jump into right into some propositions for what can we do then to solve this problem, or did it
there's things mentioned like micropayments for articles on the web, or will advertising some shape or form cover the cost? But a lot of it was. There wasn't any clear. People sat and said we don't have any really clear financial models for supporting high quality, high end journalism. When a guy like you can come to Davos and write stories and file stories on a regular basis, who basically like a couple of weeks ago was at home.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Why do we need these big infrastructures for journalism? And they justify in terms of really good, solid investigative journalism costs money, takes time, and requires a number of fact checkers and editors and all these things. And more of the web-based properties like Twitter and Wikipedia are perhaps a bit less dependable, and the quality of journalism is a bit lower. But this is their perspective. I don't think they understand that. What Jeff Jarvis says, and I think Jeff Jarvis is. Very interesting on this. I think what Jeff Jarvis says is he has this thing where he says it's not about the journalism. These are just tools for journalists.
Right.
And that bloggers aren't, good quality bloggers are good quality journalists. And he says it's just the tools. These organizations just have to start using the tools more effectively.
Yeah.
And I think he's absolutely right on this.
But does that could mean, and this could be sort of a negative perspective, that they're going to say, okay, we're going to now sort of take hold of these new tools and sort of impose on them again sort of the profit-driven.
Well, anyone who's doing journalism in some shape or form needs to make money.
Yeah.
This is a profession, and the profession means you can pay your rent and you can afford to, support your family. So, there will be a profit-driven motive. Even the best the bloggers are all profit-driven as well. But I think the question is just reaching. The real challenge is to reach people like you on the platforms you use, and giving you the news that you're interested in the format that you want, and that's different than a newspaper that used to be dropped off every day at the front door. So I think the real thing is they should all be gathering around, sitting around, staring at you and figuring out what you want, Pablo, because you are the future of the business, and if they can't figure out what you want and where you're going to read it, they're going to be in serious trouble. We're going to see more than just the New York Times in trouble. The whole industry could be upended.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Jeffrey.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
I especially like the suggestion that I am the solution.
You are. You are the focus group.
Yeah.
They should all be asking you what you think.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have
a good Davos.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. See you later.